Someone recently asked me if I was a life coach, and I told them I was not. I'm going to tell you why I said no. Hey, thank you for tuning in to Strategy Rewind. This podcast looks at the relationship between strategies and mindset to have a breakthrough moment. My name is Miguel Lebron, and I am not a life coach. Recently, someone asked me if I was a life coach, and I told them no. And I'm going to tell you why I said no. Number one, life is broad. Life is broad. Life is not something that is short. In fact, someone once said that life is very long and short at the same time. And I think it's very true. Not only that, but life has so many pockets and elements. The truth is that today you may be single, tomorrow you may be married, and some years from now you may be a grandparent looking back and reminiscing on all the things you've accomplished in your long life. And yet, we can't dismiss the accomplishments of a 10-year-old child that is, learning and beginning their life. So to me, life is so broad that when I hear this term of life coach, I almost cringe at the idea, to be honest, and I quickly come out and say, I am not a life coach. And so this forces individuals to have to ask, well, Miguel, if you're not a life coach, but you have a business, which is Miguel Lebron Coaching, LLC. If you have a business, which is Miguel Lebron Coaching, then what are you if not a life coach? And I tell them I'm a personal growth strategist. And of course, now the questions begin. Well, what is a personal growth strategist? Which is an awesome question, and it's a fair question, and I love the question. What is a personal growth strategist? Well, number one, I believe that strategy is a defined number of steps to obtain a breakthrough moment. It's important that I start off with that because the strategy that you require for your breakthrough moment is distinct from the strategy that someone else is going to need. Why? Because you may be 10 steps away from your breakthrough moment and someone else may be 5 steps away from their breakthrough moment. So then the strategy can't be the same. It just can't. You're in two different places. You're in two different positions. Right? Think about this way in the game of basketball, when they're getting ready to set up for the playoffs in the NBA, you have to come up at least on the 8th seed. If you're a 9th seed team, you know you have to pick it up. Otherwise, you're going to be left out of the playoff season. And so your strategy is much different than if you're the number 1 seed. Maybe this doesn't apply for you because, you're not into sports. Okay, think about it this way. If you just applied for a job and you get hired, your strategy was one that you used in order to get the job. And then you start using a different strategy to maintain the job. And of course, if you decide, I really like this job and I want to grow and make this a career and elevate within the organization, you now have to employ a different strategy to get a promotion because you're now in distinct parts in your life. So again, life to me is so broad, but when we talk about strategy, it has to be very specific to where you are. So that's strategy. So when I talk about that I am a personal growth strategist, I work with individuals and organizations to create a strategy that works for them, for where they are and where they want to be. Here's the truth of the matter. Oftentimes, we are surrounded by so many people, but we feel alone. Here's the truth of the matter. Oftentimes, we're surrounded by so many people, but we're not surrounded by the people that nourish our vision. So we don't know what the heck is the next step. And we look at other people being in the places we want to be, and we look at other people, and sure, we celebrate their victories, but we say, man, how do I break the glass ceiling? How do I get to the other side? You may be in need of a personal growth strategist, because you need to determine where you are and what success looks like for you and what is the strategy necessary to obtain your breakthrough moment. That's what I do. I'm not a life coach. Today's conversation was necessary, and I believe it's pivotal in your journey. But the question is, what's next? Where do you go from here? The next step is for you to set up a free 30-minute strategy session. Head over to miguellebron.com or click on the link in the show notes. It's necessary for you to take all of the things you've learned and apply them so that you can have a breakthrough moment.